Harambee! Neno hili si hivyo. Mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a video which I once did on this platform. They were actually two. Those two videos caused huge political storm on this particular platform because majority of you guys thought or felt that I was undermining the opposition and that I was going to lose subscribers. There were even campaigns for people to unsubscribe from this particular platform. One of the videos was about Kalonzo Musyoka and William Ruto's deal. I remember opining at that time that William Ruto was trying to reach out to Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka and that Kalonzo Musyoka's allies were also piling pressure on Kalonzo Musyoka to join William Ruto. And that the only reason why Kalonzo Musyoka refused was because he felt that he had a better chance of becoming the president of the Republic of Kenya through the opposition if he were to be nominated as the sole opposition candidate. That video caused huge political storm right here. Then there's another video which I also did. And in that video, I explained on this platform that the government was going to do everything possible within their powers to ensure that in 2027, the name Rigathi Gachagua will be on the ballot as a presidential candidate. In fact, that video was the worst. I was going through it and I was shocked that over 100 subscribers actually unsubscribed because they felt that there was no way Rigathi Gachagua would be on the ballot in 2027 because Rigathi Gachagua was going to support either Kalonzo or Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Ladies and gentlemen, I have bad news for you. Kalonzo Musyoka might actually be William Ruto's running mate in 2027. And Rigathi Gachagua might actually be on the ballot as a presidential candidate in 2027. There is this story prepared by KTN. I want you guys to watch it because it's going to form the basis of this analysis.
Point, KTN News can exclusively confirm that President William Ruto's Kenya Kwanza administration has been quietly dispatching emissaries to court Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, urging him to join the coalition ahead of the 2027 general election. Now, sources reveal that Kalonzo, who has remained firmly in the opposition despite the formation of a broad-based government, has been offered a tempting deal: the position of Ruto's running mate on the 2027 ticket. As our senior political affairs reporter Chris Thairo now reports, the biggest political litmus test facing President Ruto as he eyes a second term is the delicate decision of who will be his deputy, with experts predicting that the current deputy president, Professor Kithure Kindiki, is likely to be dropped.
Even as President William Ruto and his inner circle grapple with the reality of dwindling public support compared to the 2022 wave that swept him into State House, a defining political test looms just 24 months to the next general election, deciding who will be his running mate at the ballot. Given the dwindling popularity of the president in Mount Kenya region since the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, and because this is where his deputy Professor Kithure Kindiki hails from, political pundits argue that it will be highly unlikely that the president will pick Kindiki as his running mate come 2027.
If he maintains Kindiki, that would be to his own disadvantage. It's a tragedy also for William Ruto to maintain Kindiki.
If the Mount Kenya will be as lost then as it is today, it will make no sense to retain Kindiki as running mate.
In 2022, Ruto harvested over 2.9 million votes from the Mount Kenya bloc, dwarfing Raila Odinga's 848,000 votes. But with growing resentment in the region, the Kenya Kwanza camp has now turned its eyes south to the Kamba vote and Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka. With more than 1.4 million votes in Ukambani, insiders say plan is to offer Kalonzo Musyoka the running mate slot, a move aimed at neutralizing opposition firepower.
Mimi tunaambia Kalonzo aanze kufikiria, akae na huyu ndugu yake huyu, atafutiwe nafasi kubwa katika Kenya ili awe mtu ya maana katika nchi Kenya.
Unaona huyu wa Munyoro, ile maneno atafanyia Kalonzo, Kalonzo hajui saa hii.
But Kalonzo...
Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'm not going to talk about Rigathi Gachagua being on the ballot in 2027. Because even on this platform, just the other day, I posed a question to you guys here. That if Rigathi Gachagua were to be on the ballot, would you vote for him? Would you not vote for him? Or yet decided? Their majority, in fact, I was shocked that majority of you guys suggested that if Rigathi Gachagua were on the ballot, they would vote for him. But I don't want to talk about that right now. I want us to talk about why William Ruto is still keen on Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka as his running mate in 2027. And for you to understand this, I want you guys to watch this clip here of none other than Johnson Muthama. Why do you think Johnson Muthama is now willing to come back and support Kalonzo? Because he already understands that William Ruto is likely to reach out to Kalonzo, and therefore he would be safe with Kalonzo Musyoka.
We have 2.5 years to the general elections, and a lot of things will happen before 2027. So this is the right time now to decide on where to go, because there is no election that is taking place. And if you are asking me whether I will be able to campaign, probably with the proposed presidential candidate for Mukambani, this is not the right time to talk about that, because main dynamics will take place, and that decision will be made at that point. And you know, good politicians, they don't prepare with a very long time to take that on where they will be going, but they wake up and they make their decisions. The way I woke up and I decided it is Ruto, and they took over the leadership in this country. That is how you make decisions in politics. Well-prepared politicians, they don't get worried, and they don't get to feel threatened by any kind of situation. But when they wake up at the right time, they do politics and they get what they want.
But why do you think Ruto is keen on Kalonzo Musyoka? Number one, in my view, it is a strategy to divide the opposition. William Ruto understands one thing, and the opposition also understands that same thing, that the unity of the opposition is the only secret for their victory in 2027. So which means for William Ruto to stop them, he must divide them. And how can William Ruto divide the opposition? Let me take you back. After the last election, which I personally strongly believe Ruto did not win, the first thing he did was to try and raid the opposition. He went and picked up that party from the northern Kenya to his side. Then he went for the Jubilee leaders there. Then Ruto went for specific MPs within ODM party. Before things settled, he went for Raila Odinga and ODM party. Already that alone ensured the opposition was divided. Then Rigathi was impeached. Rigathi came, tried so hard to unite the opposition. We give him credit for that. What is William Ruto now doing? He's trying to split the opposition. As we speak, in Mount Kenya, two camps have emerged. Uhuru, Rigathi. Which means at the end of the day, as much as Rigathi has an upper hand, they might go different ways. They'll go separate ways. Which means each one of them will go this direction, the other direction. So they'll split the votes. Now, assuming the mountain will be united, then they push for Rigathi Gachagua to be on the ballot. If Rigathi will be on the ballot, Do you think the mountain will vote for Kalonzo or Matiang'i? That will not happen. That's when now Ruto will go and convince Kalonzo using his allies, because his allies are actually willing to persuade him to join the government as a running mate. And the opposition will be split right in the middle. Number two is what I call Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki's factor in 2027 presidential elections in the Republic of Kenya. William Ruto committed one big mistake last year, engineering the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. William Ruto did that because in his mind he thought that Rigathi Gachagua was going to be a pushover. That after some weeks, the mountain was going to realign to his side. But even if that was not going to happen, he strongly believed that by appointing Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki as his running mate, as his deputy, Kindiki was going to help him consolidate Mount Kenya East. As we speak, Mount Kenya East is fully behind Rigathi Gachagua, which means by the time we'll be going for the elections in 2027, Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki will not be in a position to deliver Mount Kenya East. And because he will not be able to deliver, William Ruto will not see the value of nominating him. That's why he's interested in Kalonzo Musyoka. If you were to nominate Kalonzo Musyoka as his running mate, what's going to happen is that they're going to wait until Kalonzo Musyoka is either defeated by Matiang'i or Rigathi Gachagua decides to run for the presidency. Then Kalonzo will be portrayed as a victim who can then now side with Ruto and become Ruto's running mate. Because Kindiki will not add any value. The truth is, Mount Kenya gave William Ruto 47% of the votes, the entire votes he got. So where do you think William Ruto will be able to get those votes? ODM, Kalonzo, just add some of them like that. That's number two. Number three, and this is an elaborate scheme. For those who understand politics deeply, not from the face value, I want you guys to take some time and think over it. Rigathi Gachagua will be on the ballot. Not because he wants to be on the ballot, or not because Rigathi Gachagua believes he can win. No. He's going to get pressure from his allies. People like Medhu, people like Nyutu, Jen Kihara will pile pressure on Rigathi to run for the presidency. By running for the presidency, two things are going to happen. Rigathi will be able to lock Mount Kenya, which means he will be able to get enough MPs, he will be able to get enough governors, and of course, he will automatically become the kingpin. Number two, if he were to run, there's a high chance of him becoming number two or number one, and a rerun is going to be occasioned. If he becomes number two, he will be the next Raila Odinga. You are not a president, but you have troops loyal, which you can control. So Rigathi Gachagua was impeached, and because he was impeached, he is not eligible to run for the presidency. But the truth is, there are cases in court over that impeachment, whether they were procedural or not. So the courts are left. So the courts will definitely make a ruling on those. And the ruling will be in favor of Rigathi Gachagua. That the impeachment did not follow the law. But because they've been overtaken by events, he cannot be made the deputy president. So every other thing will be put aside. He will be eligible to run. That's how systems work. Sometimes you have to accept this fact or you perish. But I want you guys to know that if Rigathi will be on the ballot, there's no way Kalonzo Musyoka will also be on the ballot. I doubt if Kalonzo will agree to be running mate to Rigathi Gachagua. But he will be willing to be a running mate to William Ruto. You remember Kalonzo Musyoka in 2007? That's exactly what we are going to witness. Number four, and this is what they are going to use to persuade Kalonzo. Post William Ruto's politics. Kalonzo is going to be persuaded. He's going to be given an offer. He'll be a deputy president, powerful. Ruto will not be defending his seat, and therefore you will be able to use the state machinery to prepare for your bid in 2027. Again, he's going to be told that if you want to be the opposition candidate, then assume Matiang'i wins, you will be willing to serve 10 years. Assuming Rigathi wins, 10 years. But if William Ruto wins again, then he will be a deputy president, but will only be waiting for 5 more years, not 10. He will sit, figure out, and agree to terms. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm also seeing the hands of Raila Odinga on these sustained efforts to bring Kalonzo Musyoka to William Ruto's side. There are certain facts which you can't run away from in the Republic of Kenya. That, for example, Uhuru Kenyatta has soft spots for Mudavadi. Raila, having worked with Kalonzo, has soft spot for Kalonzo. And because Raila is supporting Ruto, he might want to bring Kalonzo on board. I don't know what to think, but that's my take. Until next time, this is Makwiny. Bye-bye.